The tide is turning. I'm told y'all in the last video I was gonna show y'all how the Democrats are just jumping ship, man. We got Nebraska State Senator Mike McDonald. He just left the Democratic Party and became a Republican. Let's watch.
Has been on my mind and has been trouble.
Thank you for coming today. In 1984, I decided to register as a Democrat. I was a Christian, member of the Roman Catholic Church, and I was proud of that, and I was pro-life. 2016, I decided to run for the legislature. Christian, member of the Roman Catholic Church, pro-life, pro-union, pro-Second Amendment. Wanted to see how we could grow our state and reduce property taxes at the same time. All those things you talk door to door that you believe in. As a process we've gone through down here as senators, I've tried to stick with those principles. That has not changed for me. I asked the Democratic Party, Douglas County, to respect that I'm pro-life, that I'm a member of the Roman Catholic Church. And my beliefs are based on that. Douglas County Democrats, instead of respecting it, they decided to punish it.
Wow.
They said you cannot participate, you can't be a delegate. We're not going to share our party resources. I continue to vote pro-life. State Democratic Party decided to censure me.
That's crazy, man.
I continue to vote pro-life. This is not an easy decision. After 40 years of being a registered Democrat, having your grandfather tell you when you're 10 years old, what are we? We're Irish, we're Catholic, and we're Democrats. That kind of stuck with me. And we had many discussions after that a lot of things he tried to teach me didn't stick. But it's never easy for someone to make this kind of decision, but what makes it easier is the people standing behind me. Over the last year, regardless of my decision switching parties, they have been so supportive. Based on the things that would be said in the media or in social media, they were very supportive. We had great discussions about what the Republican Party is doing, where they're trying to go, how I potentially could fit in there. But the greatest thing about it is now I can participate again. When something's taken away from you as potentially being able to attend a meeting, they say, well, we don't want you here, and we're not going to share our resources with you. That hits you pretty hard. But it also makes you appreciate something about our democracy, the idea of being able to participate. Today I'm announcing I am now going to be a registered Republican in the state of Nebraska.
I remember somebody once said that it's impossible for you to be Catholic or Christian and a Democrat because Democrats now literally go against your beliefs when it pertains to, you know, pro-life, pro-choice and things of that nature. And this is honestly a wow moment because I'm watching it actually happen. This man said that he's a pro-lifer. He's somebody who supported the Democratic Party. And he also said something that was even more important than that, for me at least. He said that his grandfather said that there are three things: Irish, Catholic, and Democrat. And when I was young, I had similar kind of ritual-like things spoke to me about being a Democrat. You know, we only vote Democrat. Oh, heck, you know, we don't do Republicans. Even in school, even from the teachers and things of that nature, it was always that, even in movies and things, and like for real. So, you know, he said that, and it resonated with me because that's pretty much how I came to be a Democrat in those times. But thank God I seen the light. However, we gotta be, you know, very cautious. Even when y'all had to embrace me from when I was switching sides. You gotta be very cautious who we, you know, see on the public stage saying these type of things, and you gotta be careful with the rhinos. But outside of that little precautionary measure, man, I'm glad to see it. I kind of just did the same exact thing. It all started with that Uber ride. Hey, why do you not like Trump? Because he's racist. Give me one thing racist that he said. Everything. That's not one thing. Let me do some research so I can hate on Trump. Oh, wait, hold on. Trump did what? Huh? Oh, okay. Yeah. Wait, he got integrity? Oh, man. This is wild. When I was younger, I perceived the Democrats to be there for poor folk. Now that I think about it, that was kind of quite demeaning to just like fully embrace and accept that. But yeah, it was kind of taught to me like that. Oh, it's just, they're for the poor folk, the people who are less fortunate and things of that nature. They got your best interests at heart because they black and things of that nature. But now these days, they're literally pushing anti-God, and that's scary. We got the national anthem. Well, not the national anthem. We got prayer being taken out of schools and things of that. It's getting really wild, man. And I'm glad that people are beginning to see the light again. Y'all remember when Tulsi Gabbard made her great escape? And she actually called for all the independent-minded Democrats to go ahead and join her in removing herself from the Democratic Party. Let's remind ourselves of that great clip.
Today, I want to share something with you that has been on my mind and has been troubling me for quite some time and has now compelled me to take action. I love our country. Our God-given rights of freedom, life, and liberty that are enshrined in our Constitution and Bill of Rights are what inspires me. I took an oath dedicating my life to supporting and defending those freedoms, both in uniform and in public office.
Please welcome Tulsi Gabbard.
I was drawn to the ideals of a big tent, inclusive Democratic Party that stood up for working men and women, that stood up for the little guy.
My fellow Democrats.
I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party. It's now under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers driven by cowardly wokeness, who divide us by racializing every issue and stoking anti-white racism.
The problem with white people.
Who actively work to undermine our God-given freedoms enshrined in our Constitution, who demonize the police, who protect criminals at the expense of law-abiding Americans, who believe in open borders, who weaponize the national security state to go after their political opponents, and who are hostile to people of faith.
All men and women created by you know the thing.
Today's Democratic Party is anti-woman.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
I can't.
And above all, are dragging us ever closer to nuclear war. Today, I'm calling on my fellow common sense, independent-minded Democrats. Join me in leaving the Democratic Party.
And the sad part is, what she just said, and the reasoning behind her leaving in the Democratic Party is what we just literally watched happen with Democratic Senator, what is his name? Mike McDonald. That's what we literally just seen happen in terms of his rights to be able to believe in what he wants to believe and not be, demonized because of that. They're imposing on your religion, and that right there in itself crosses the line. I had the sad realization that they just don't care. They don't care about me. They didn't care about, my family. They cared about profiting. They cared about, being able to crack this border open so that they can position themselves in the best possible position to be able to reign again for another 4 years. This is scary. You see what's happening in Chicago? That proved another 70 million to the migrant for migrant care, but can't even help the homeless, not even our veterans. But they want us to continue to stay Democrats, bruh.
Citizens of Chicago have a lot to say after the city council approved an extra $70 million to care for illegal immigrants. The mayor's office says nearly 40,000 of them have arrived in that sanctuary city since August of 2022. Try millions in Texas. Try that out. Mm-hmm. Well, they are a sanctuary city, Chicago, so what do they expect? They put out the shingle. And tax-paying Chicagoans showed up in force ahead of the city council vote.
The city doesn't feel the same anymore.
Y'all mismanaging this. Failing, actually.
We need that money in my neighborhood.
$70 million. Y'all won't even put $1 million in one neighborhood.
Vote for the money for these immigrants today, and we coming for them seats.
Yeah. Ooh, they're coming for somebody else's seat, too. Democratic Mayor Brandon Johnson's. Organizers of the recall movement need some 56,000 signatures to get the recall option on the ballot later this year. We'll be watching. Fox News political analyst and Chicago native Jono Caldwell. Jono, I did notice some anger in the room, but I also noticed some people with a plan.
Absolutely. And they are doing the right thing by saying we're coming directly for your seats, including you, Mayor Brandon Johnson, as Mayor Brandon Johnson's message, I believe, to Chicagoans has been quite clear. Get on the back of the bus. Now, that's everybody, but especially those black voters who are the reason he's mayor today. Get on the back of the bus. And these voters in Chicago, and I speak to a lot of them pretty regularly, pretty weekly, they're serious about voting for Trump. They're serious about handing the election in Illinois to Donald Trump, as you only need 20% of Cook County, which is within Chicago. That's the county that encompasses the suburbs as well. He can win Illinois. Now, the problem is for many of the Chicagoans there, they've been destitute for many, many years with services from the city. Since I was a kid, 14 years old, working in politics, people have been asking for help and resources, and they say they didn't have any until now.
Well, they had the resources. They just weren't spending them on you, the citizens. Okay, so you mentioned Trump, and you mentioned blacks in particular taking a look at maybe voting in their own interests. You know, I had lifelong Chicagoan Kata Truss on the Focus back in February. She got a bigger conversation around the nation started about her frustrations in Chicago. Let's revisit.
Turn Chicago red.
I remember this.
We are so angry with Pritzker and with President Biden and with our mayor that we have decided that we're going to vote Republican this time around. Wow. That's just how angry we are. We are so angry that we are willing and going to turn our backs on the Democratic Party.
So what do you predict will happen? I know they want to unseat people. Will that actually happen? Because typically, as you get closer to voting day, everybody goes back to their silos and they get a few goodies or whatever from Democrats, and they're reminded that black people vote Democrat, and if you don't, you're not really black. President Biden said that. So what do you think will happen?
Well, just look at the sentiment across the country. In Denver, that was recently asylum-seeking group who said, just to give us 6 months worth of rent, food, cash, and all these other things is a slap in our face. For people who never committed a tax dollar ever, it's a slap in their face. But you turn that same mirror on in Chicago, and they see folks in their neighborhoods, places where they used to send their kids so they can be safe, park districts, a number of different entities that have been taken over by the migrant class, and people are upset, and rightfully so. I think we should be watching very closely what's going to happen in the DNC, because that message right there before the election is going to resonate very clear about how Chicagoans are feeling about the Democratic Party, especially bringing the migrants to the city, but many other issues like crime and others.
Oh, yeah. What about the economy? I mean, gas prices going right back up, food prices going right back up, energy prices sitting high and going higher as we creep up again with inflation, while, you know, the man in the White House simply says, I guess we're imagining.
Oh, she said that so perfectly. They really want to sit here and think that we're delusional, like we're just imagining this. Biden literally caused an historic cost of living crisis in America. And if he's elected again, he wants to raise the taxes even more. In addition to that, in order to get to that point, he's literally importing millions of illegals to take your vote in order to make us suffer even further. Make it make sense on why you would vote for the Democrats this year.